All right, now that we got the exhaust taken care of, we can go ahead and see if that drive shaft will fit. So we'll get this thing up in the air and we'll see if it fits. All right, we'll pop you guys under here so you can see what we're doing. How do you lose gloves you were just wearing? Those it? Yeah, here those out. All right, now let's see if we can find the drive shaft and all the mess over here. We're missing the end caps, like I said earlier, but that's okay because we need to clean all this up anyways and replace the U-joints. For now, I just want to make sure this fits and it's the correct length and everything. It's not going to have any trouble. Make sure we're not going to have to take it to the drive shaft shop and have them shorten it or something. So now I just got to take this rubber glove off from yesterday. I put a rubber glove on the end of the transmission output shaft a lot of times because it keeps fluid from coming out onto the floor when you tip the transmission around. So, just a helpful tip. Yeah, this isn't going to work at all. So the drive shaft that he gave me must have the, it's got a different spline on it. It's a lot smaller. So it was probably a turbo 350 that this might have came out of instead of a turbo 400. So that might not be too bad. We'll see if the length is at least close. I think it's going to be way too long, honestly. So we'll have to get a new drive shaft and the end. I have the end, the yoke, or the spline, whatever you want to call it. That'll work for this. I just don't have transmission or a drive shaft that's the right length. So we can look around and see what there is out there. Maybe we can order a new one to the right length, or we can order a drive shaft like we did for the 70 Chevelle to put the Tremec in it. So no big deal. We'll keep moving. Good to know that we got to do that anyways. So since we're under here, we'll go ahead and take a look around. Make sure there's nothing else we're going to have to worry about. All in all, it's pretty clean under here. There's some surface rust on some things. We can clean all that up. The body mounts look like they could be replaced, so maybe what we can do is pop those body mounts off, lift the body off the frame with the lift, and go through here and clean up the frame and paint it. It's a lot of years of grime on it anyways. It gives us a good chance to take a look at everything under here, make sure we're not going to have to patch any holes. I think I might run all new brake lines just because I had to cut those lines to get the proportioning valve off. And then I'm going to have to figure out some of these fuel lines. It's got this line that runs in tandem with the rear brake line. So this top is the brake line, the bottom looks like it runs back to the fuel tank and also goes up front. I'm guessing that was for some kind of emissions, probably since it's on the driver's side, maybe that charcoal canister. So when the tank evaporated, it could, sorry I took the light off, it could catch all that and keep it from going into the atmosphere. Two lines on this side. The bigger one is the feed line, the smaller one is the return. We're not going to need that with the carburetor. So we can go in and clean these lines up too. The transmission is just a turbo 400 that came with it. Nothing too fancy about it. You can see the cross member up here. The ball joints and everything look okay. They're not great. I haven't really dug into them too much yet. We can show you guys how to do that later. I might rebuild all the front end just for peace of mind. It is going to be a family mover. I haven't even taken these wheels off yet, so I don't even know what condition the front brakes are in. But like I said, we can take a look at the ball joints and everything. They're not too expensive to replace, so it might just be worth doing it. Take a look back here in the rear axle. So the floor pan looks good back here. Still got some of the undercoating on it. It's flaking off. We can take care of that. This is a patch they put in. There was some rot down in the spare tire wheel well thing, whatever you want to call it. So they replaced all that. They couldn't find the lower piece here. Oh, that's not the best repair. Might have to address that as well. But it's okay-ish. It's not too bad, but it feels like tape or something under here that's been painted. So we'll take a look at that. The driver's side with the fuel tank looks not too bad. Fuel tank doesn't look like it's got any obvious signs of leaking. It's still in there pretty secure. The lower quarter doesn't look too bad. You can see this line here. That could be body filler, judging by how it wraps around, or it could be from the whatever repair they did a long time ago. Yeah, up in the wheel wells looks all right. It's not too bad. We'll knock these wheels off at some point. Show you guys what we're going, what everything looks like under there. So everything up in here is not too bad. I'm surprised that spring still has a sticker on it. I hadn't seen these shocks before with this sort of load helping spring. It's got the air lines on it like it originally had the rear air shocks. I might go that route. I haven't decided. I would like this to have some performance. Maybe do some autocross, take it to the power tour, do some drag race and stuff like that. So we'll have to see what we end up doing for the rear suspension setup. But oh no, it's not too bad in here. Like I said, we can clean all this up. These bushings on the rear axle need to be replaced. Cracked quite a few spots. Here's a better view this side. As you can see, those fuel lines and the evaporator lines. It's the brake line as it comes over. It's the rubber. It's not in too bad a shape, but probably replace all that anyways. Take the axle down, clean it up. Since we're going to paint it, we might as well take the time, take everything apart, put it together the right way. Well guys, I think that'll do it for this one. We've at least got the exhaust on. Now we know we need to get a new drive shaft. We can order some more parts to get the rest of this stuff assembled, start putting the motor together. We'll put the front core support on and the radiator so we can put in the new harness. We got a new harness to run front to back, so we can at least wire all that stuff up while it's in its place. It might be worth cleaning the frame up and fixing some of these spots of overspray before we get to that point though, but it might be a little too cold to do painting just yet. But we'll look around, see what parts we can find, what kind of lead time it is to get everything. Getting parts has been a pain lately with shipping times and everything else that's going on with the world. So it might take a little bit longer to get some of those parts, but I appreciate you guys tuning in today and hope to see you again next time. Thanks again.